So that proves that so-called America is Babylon, modern day Babylon the Great. All right? So back to Jeremiah 51:1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, so that's America, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. So what happens when a nuclear bomb is dropped? In the middle of it, it creates a mushroom cloud that goes up, and then winds that go out in a circular fashion and spreads out as if you fanned it across, and it spreads out. But it's going to be a thermonuclear wind that will burn and cinder and will burn the flesh. They'll burn all that, everything, the elements. And the proof of it is, let's look at an atomic bomb that went over to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And you can see the pictures that they took of that. Well, thermonuclear fire is even worse than that. So the Most High says, I'm going to raise up them a destroying wind, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. What does the archer do? He shoots arrows. What arrows goes from one country to another country? That's shaped like an arrow. That's called a missile. That's called an Icbm nuclear missile. It's called intercontinental ballistic missile. And this is what's going to be shot like an arrow, and it's going to come over here and destroy this place. Thus saith the Lord. That's what kind of arrow is going to be, can be shot from one country to another country. You can't send a bow and arrow from over here to damn near 100 feet. You can't send a bullet from one country to another country, but you can send a missile from one another. And when it comes down, especially in the preponderance of multiple ones, it's going to be a lake of fire. And that's the lake of fire that they talk about in the Bible. And that's the missiles, man. Because people don't understand the Bible is parabolic. It's in parable. It was not meant to be understood and read like an instruction manual to build an entertainment system. You just put part A to part B to part C and put the screws in to part GA to GB to GC. It don't work like that. It's in parable. That means it's in code. It's a riddle. And only people who are going to understand are the true children of the Lord. Because he didn't want everybody else to get it. Alright? And I'm going to prove it. This is Matthew's 17th chapter. Wait, so I can hold on. One big mark. 1 second. Because he says he didn't want everybody to get it. Alright? Matter of fact, I know it's the enemy don't want me to get it. Right, it's 13. Matthew's the 13th chapter. Matthew 13 and 10. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou in parables? So he said, why are you speaking in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Verse 13, therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see and see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. So he said, no, I talk to them in parables. All right? And if you didn't know what the word parable means, we got to go look it up. And that's how we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be going to the word and looking up and getting a deeper understanding of the word. Alright? If you go look up in the scriptures and find the different words and go get their root meanings, and understanding, then you get a little bit closer to the context that the Most High was speaking in versus listening to everybody else in their garbage. Now this is the Hebrew word for parable. Alright? It is mashal, proverb, parable, say, a proverbial saying, an aphorism, a byword, a similitude, parable, poem, sentences of ethical wisdom, ethical maxims. Original sense of superiority in mental action, properly a pithy maxim, usually of a metaphorical nature, hence a simile, as in an adage, a poem, or discourse, byword like or parable or proverb. So it is a metaphorical pithy maxim necessary to use mental skill to decode. And the Most High spoke to the people in parables. So he did not want everybody to get it. All right? And let's go look at the English word for parable. All right? Because you just want to get the context of what is how it's being used today. And this is the English word for parable. All right, this is the English word for parable. A short allegorical story designed to illustrate or teach some truth, religious principle, or moral lesson. A statement or comment that conveys a meaning indirectly by the use of comparison, analogy, or the like. All right, and it goes back to late Latin parabola. Alright? A throwing they're not, I can't really see it's too light out here to see my phone. But that's what it is. So the Most High spoke in riddles, man. Alright? Glass darkly, you know what I'm saying? And cold. And then the only way you're going to understand the riddles is that the Most High open up your mind to. All right? And give you the keys to the riddles. If you don't get the keys to the riddles, you're not going to get it. All right? So, all right, going back to Jeremiah 51. And that's why all words, we talk about an arrow, you know, he's going to, verse 30, Jeremiah 51 and 3. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifted himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. Then he give you the illustration, the parable, the analogy of an archer bending his bow and talking about Babylon being destroyed, which is and if you go to Revelation, you know it's about an end time place. If you know, going to King David talking about Babylon, you know that was supposed to take down Jerusalem, then you should know how to track who is modern day Babylon today, who has fixed all those characteristics today. All right. Verse 4, thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, of the Lord of hosts, though the land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. He said, even though y'all sinned and acted a fool, I am not going to destroy the whole people, all of you. I'm going to leave a remnant. I got a remnant. That's why he says in Malachi, he says, for I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. That's the reason why the Most High is still going to have mercy on the remnant of Israel. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So he said, flee out of the midst of Babylon. That don't mean get on the plane and actually go somewhere, because Babylon is ruling the earth. So no matter where we go, according to Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So no matter where you go, you're going to be under that. He says, flee out of the midst means mentally.